Hey, welcome back to the Signature Movement. It's your girl Tanya D. Floyd. I am I owe you an apology, first of all. I must say I apologize for not really understanding how this YouTube thing works, okay? So I had all these plans for my channel and what, kind of videos I wanted to produce and put on here. Like, I got all these cooking ideas and I wanted to share recipes and I want to interview people and bring my podcast back. And I wanted to, you know, um, talk about real estate and design and all the lifestyle things like, making your lifestyle more your own, more, putting your flavor on your stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I missed a piece or two. I'm probably gonna find out about some other pieces that I missed. But basically, I've learned lately that people are responding more to my on the fly videos, the ones that are like living life in real time, the ones where the topic was not something I thought of talking about that day, but it just happened to be. So one thing that struck people was the one I talked about credit and finance. I am by no means a financial expert or a credit expert or a business expert or a business credit expert or any of those things. I have done a lot of things though. And therefore I should have been talking about the things as I was learning them, right? But my bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm gonna take it back and we gonna roll tape on this whole credit and finance discussion right now. Let me tell you what I know. And this is because I had a conversation today with a young lady who I thought, was pretty savvy about certain things. And when she asked me some questions, I was like, oh, I wonder how often this happens. I assume I know something about somebody and I don't. Probably all the time. Okay. I'm gonna keep, I'm gonna be a little bit more intuitive about these things. Okay. So let's do some basics. Credit. What do I know about credit? Well, I bought a house before, just one. I bought lots of cars. I've had lots of credit cards. I've had, the bank cards with the Visa or the MasterCard kind of cards. Then you got your credit cards or your charge cards for the stores and this and that. Like special stuff like, Dell and maybe a furniture store or this and that. It's different kinds of cards, but yeah, 101, credit 101. So, first thing you need to consider is what's your credit score? What's on your credit report? And that's 1A and 1B, okay? What's your credit score? You need to know. What's on your credit report? You need to know. You can get both for free right now. Or you can go on there and ask for it and they can put it in the mail and they can give you the long version with all the pages with every single account and every single detail about every single account and all the addresses or the credit, people who gave the information, this and that. But hold it, it's 2022. Go on the app, Experian.com or my FICO app or Smart Credit app. It's different versions of your score. We're not going to do the whole intermediate or expert level credit training today, but just know that there are different versions of your score and there are different scores for different things. But the basic thing you need to know is there's 3 major credit bureaus: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Okay? Those 3 pretty much run your life, but gotta tell you, there's some other stuff going on out there that you don't know about, but you probably don't want to know about, so just leave that be. Just focus on these 3 right here. That's what you're going to get on the report. Okay, it's hard not to touch on the other stuff, because but we're not going to do it. We're just going to focus, Floyd. So, go on Experian.com and set up your profile and see what Experian has on you. That score that they give you is going to be your actual Experian FICO score. Now, there's two kinds of scores as far as how creditors view you and where they get the information. There's Vantage and there's FICO. Vantage is what you get when you log on to creditkarma.com. Now, let me tell you, I want you to go on creditkarma.com and get an account too. It's free. And they're going to give you a score, but it's not going to be your FICO score. It's going to be your Vantage score. The difference is there are two different systems for calculating credit risk. And without going too deep into it, most companies that you would want to deal with are probably going to use your FICO score to see if you can get a loan or a car or a credit card or whatever. Every now and then, you bump into somebody who says, oh, we use your Vantage score. It's very rare, okay? So go on Credit Karma and set it up. But I don't want you to use that score as like, oh, this is where I'm at. I want you to use the information they give you. I want you to look at the accounts they have listed for you, and they're only going to give you two bureaus. They're going to give you TransUnion and Equifax on there. But you can look at all of your accounts and all your balances and all the dates that they will report it. And all of that should be pretty accurate. Don't go by that score though. That's not your life. Okay? It's not your life. Remember I said that's not your life. Okay? FICO is your life. Now, how many FICO scores are there? So many. But we're not gonna do that. Calm down. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. I want you to just know that your real FICO scores, aside from Experian, you can get from My FICO, and it's going to be a free trial, but it's going to start charging you after like 7 days, I think. So just go in there just to get a feel for what it looked like and what your score is today. If you want to pay for the monitoring, you can pay it. It's like 20, I forget how many dollars it is. I think it's like, never mind, I ain't gonna lie. I don't remember how much it is a month. But you only really want to pay for that when tracking your course to pay for something real specific in the very near future. Like if you're trying to buy a house, you need to check your score and make sure it don't do no dipping while you trying to, get approved for this house. Or if you're trying to do something else of value in your life that you need right now, just you can track with My FICO. But don't pay for that if you don't have to. Just go get it right now, and you can gauge on Credit Karma what's changing with it. And it'll tell you, like, if you get some derogatory things on there, or if, things are looking A-okay, you can track it that way for free every single day if you want. It don't matter. Don't cost you a dime. CreditKarma.com, Experian.com, totally free. They'll give you all your accounts and the information like your balances and your last reported date and all that kind of stuff. That's all you really want to care about in this basic class right here, okay? Okay. Did I say go check your credit report? Annualcreditreport.com. You can do this once a year for free. But this, when you get this, you can get it online where they can show it to you and you can print it to PDF, or you can print it out, or whatever you want to do. You can save it as a file. But they'll also send you the paper version if you want, with like the whole 20 pages of every single piece of information on every single account that you could possibly not need. All you really want to know is who, how much, when, what, where, and all that, right? You can get that right now at the blink of an eye for nothing. Experian.com, and go do the free trial of myfico.com. Those are your actual credit scores. Now, when you get into My FICO, I don't want you to be lunching, because it's like 1,000 different scores and several different pages. I want you to just look at that main page where it tells you your FICO 8 scores, because in general, most creditors are going to be looking at your FICO 8. Wells Fargo, petty larceny Wells Fargo, will be looking at your FICO 9, which is probably, I don't think it says FICO 9 on there, but it'll say something like your bank card score or something. So you got an auto score, you got a mortgage score, you got a bank card score. See, we got to do it. And then you got something like other loans. But Wells Fargo looks at your FICO 9 score, and it's real petty. But if you have a Wells Fargo account or a mortgage with them, they'll give it to you for free. They'll show you what your score is. So you can just log into that. But don't deal with them, okay? I'm going to just go ahead and say, don't deal with them. If you don't have to, don't. I've had the mortgage with them for the last 13 years. It wasn't pleasant all the time, and I can't ever get them to give me nothing else, okay? The only way I got a Wells Fargo mortgage in the first place is because when I bought my house, I had another mortgage, and they bought it from them people. I would never ever get a Wells Fargo product. They just don't like my lifestyle. They don't approve me for nothing. Okay, I found myself going on a tangent a little bit right there, and I had to sip my tea because I was about to tell too much about Wells Fargo. But anyway, I'm not really a fan, and they don't really like me that much for unknown reasons. We'll just say that. But yeah, most creditors look at your FICO 8. Mortgages have a totally different set of scores they look at. But if you're not ready to buy a house, then you ain't got to worry about that. Don't let it overwhelm you. The second lesson I want you to learn after I want you to look at your credit reports and see what's on there and what your credit score is, I want you to figure out whether you want this or not. Like, do you even care about credit? Do you want something? Why are you doing this? If credit is going to be like, oh my God, I'm so discouraged, I can't, nobody approve me for that, this is a system. You have to learn how to maneuver through the system like any other system. This is a whole process. It's a whole realm of, learning and figuring out where your lane is. It is. It truly is. So, like, not all creditors are created equal. Not all their scoring systems are the same. So, one company might give you a $3,000 credit limit on your new card, but one company will be like, no, we going to just go ahead and deny you because, no, we don't like your profile at all. And when I say profile, I mean your credit profile, like what's on your credit report. I say that for a reason. Not so you can just see if there's anything bad on there, but so you can look at all the accounts that you have or the lack thereof. For instance, if you have a thin profile, I talked about this in one of my other videos when I was talking about how I got credit. So if you have a thin profile, which means you really don't have that many kind of accounts and you really don't have that much credit available or limits out there, you're probably going to be denied more often than not for most things. Because credit is still a risk. Now, they want to know, are you worthy of them taking this risk on you? So your profile says everything for you. The lady I talked to today has a thin profile, and I was trying to show her how to build it up. But I felt like she was getting discouraged a little bit because, she was like, oh God, it's so much information, there's so many things to do, but it's not really. Third thing I want you to do is, I want you, if you have, it's hard to pinpoint a starting point for everybody, but if you have at least one credit card and one or two other kinds of credit on your report, like student loans and a car, or student loans and a house, or a house and a car, if you have more than one kind of credit, but at least 3 different kinds of credit, you probably can get approved for some stuff fairly easily. Now, in 2022, life is a lot easier than it was at any other time. Let me tell you, because there's so many other companies out here offering credit. You're not just going to be limited to going down the street to the bank or going to the credit union that you use. Now, those are your best places to start if you have accounts with them already because you have banking relationships established. But you don't have to have that. They have what you call fintech companies now where it's a hybrid of finance and technology, right? So basically, it's a technology company who also offers credit. So they finance things. Either, like, for instance, never mind. It's videos out there. You hit on the credit button under search at the top of the YouTube page, you can find anything you want to find. But just because everything I found really didn't work for me and I found my own lane, I'm trying to teach you how to find your lane. You're not going to be able to just listen to everybody who puts out a video because they figured out if you talking, somebody going to find your video and they're going to listen to you. It don't have to be true. It don't have to be accurate. It don't even have to be current. But if you talking and somebody find it, bling, 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 that's coins in your account, right? We don't do that here. But I just want you to know that everything I say is because this is what I've done or seen or researched, and I've proven it to be true. So I ain't gonna give you no crap that don't work. And I'm not here to talk just to talk. Okay? So rewind. Back to the point. They have different kinds of companies who offer credit now. So there's like a million different credit options out here. You still get some of the basics that are easy to get, like store cards. So it used to be like you could get a $300 card limit from a couple of different stores because they want you to buy their stuff, right? So you frequently flying there, you might want to apply there. Like if you stay in Macy's all the time, just try for the Macy's card. But first, see if you have a credit score. There are adults out here who don't have a credit score. I mean, if you've ever had credit accounts, I think you still have a score. But literally, this credit score is made up of 5 categories. So you might want to go back and look if it's been 20 years since you used some credit. But you have payment history. You have utilization, which is credit cards. How well you use your credit limits and how much of them you use. You get points for using them well. I'll explain that in a minute. You have inquiries, you have credit mix, and you have, credit, the length of time you've had credit. Those are the 5 categories. So again, the most important one, the most points you get, 35% of your score is made up of your payment history. How many on-time payments do you have? Try not to have no late payments. But 2020 did a number on some people, so don't be too hard on yourself if that number not real high. But your interest rate going to be just a little higher than everybody else if you get approved. Just know that off the break. But payment history, utilization, credit mix. I should have did the percentages, right? 35%, run it back. 35% of your credit score is your payment history. How many on-time payments you have. 30% of your credit report, and this is very, very important, is your utilization. How much credit are you using versus how much is available to you on all of your accounts combined. 30% of your score is that. 15% of your score is your credit mix. How many different kinds of accounts do you have? 10% is inquiries. How many times have you applied for credit in the last 2 years? Because those stay on your credit report for 2 years. Then they just fall off. And the last one is, what's the last one? I said it. God dog it, I lose a word every week now. I lost that. What's the 5th? Inquiries, credit mix, payments, utilization. Oh, the length of time you've had the accounts. Duh, Floyd. So, that is credit age. That's what it's called. So, how long have you had your oldest account? Every time you get a new account, they re-average it out and it brings your credit age down. So, you need to keep those old student loans on there if they don't have no negative information. Don't try to get rid of them. Keep them. Those are usually your oldest accounts. So, if you had a mortgage for the last 20 years and you keep it right there unless it's got some bad payment history on it. Anything with a bad payment history, you want to go find one of these videos to clean up your credit. Okay? Anything bad, negative, derogatory, find one of the videos to say, teach you how to clean up your own credit. Don't pay nobody. It's free. I did it myself. Look here. I've done a few things in life. I bought a house, cars, furniture, all kind of stuff. Just had all the credit. I'd have been bankrupt before. I got some ideas. I know some things. Let me tell you. But yeah, rebuilt all my credit from the ground up. But you know what's funny? Don't tell nobody, but I have never in my life had a credit score higher than 705. I'm sad about it. I'm chasing the dream. I'm trying to get to 750 before, next year. And I can do it in the next couple of months if I pay down some of these balances. Because remember, I was using my personal credit for business, and business payments don't always come in from the clients on time. So I got to stretch it out a little bit, and it's a balance on it, and I want it to be zero. But yeah, that whole thing. So anyway, yeah, I have never had a really high credit score, but I'm shooting for 750 because I'm told that once you get to 750, you pretty much write your own ticket with credit and ask for anything you want as long as your income can support it, you know. And they just like you when you pay your stuff and consistently on time and keep your balances low and stuff. So try that. Those are the keys to having good credit. Mixture of accounts, pay on time, use your credit wisely. Don't get your balances way up. Keep them real low, under 10%. They say 30. Keep them under 10%. You can have all the points, okay? Most people think if you pay your balance off to zero, you get the most points, but that's not true. I have learned. Some people will tell you this is not fact, but I have practiced this. When I pay my cards down to zero, my score just be like staying still every month. But when I use it and pay it down and then use a little bit of it again and I'm right under 10%, down to 3% is great. But if I'm anywhere under 10%, I get points for having a low balance. I don't get those points when I got a zero balance. It just be chilling in one zone. So, you heard it here. 10% is better than zero. But as far as interest rates go, don't panic over interest rates either, because when you first starting out, and if you're watching this video and you care about it, you probably just starting out again. Not the first time, maybe not the third time, but you just starting again. So don't let the interest rates fool you, because if you can get the account, just take it. But the trick to the interest rate is to pay off the prior month's balances by the due date. The interest is assessed on anything that's sitting there after your due date has passed. So pay off last month's stuff by the due date. You won't have to pay the interest. And then the other piece of the trick is to pay your balance down below 10% or use almost 10% on your card by the statement date. So how it usually works is your due date is a few days before your statement date or before the end of the cycle. That's another name for it. The statement date is the end of your billing cycle. So look on your statement or at the top of your online, whatever, and it'll tell you. And if you look at your prior statements, you'll see what date they usually come out, with the report on. So you want to have your balance below 10% before that report goes out to the credit bureaus. You always want to pay off last month's bill before the due date, so you don't have to pay interest. So it's two pieces to that. Roll it back, try to understand it, or scroll through and go on the credit at the top of the YouTube page and get 1,000 videos to tell you how to do that. But it's real simple to me. So keep your balance low. Pay off all the old stuff before the due date, and you won't have to pay interest. But if this is not your first time or your third time and you restarting and all that, then you're pretty much in a good place. But for those who are beginning again, just know, check your credit report, see what's on it. Anything bad on it, you want to find out how to repair your credit. And anything old on it, don't be mad if it's good. Be mad if it's old and it's ugly. If it's old and it's ugly, and I mean old as in past 7 years, because typically accounts are supposed to stay on your report for 7 years if they're negative. If they pass 7 years, you got to do a dispute and get that crap out of there, because it's messing up your life, okay? I did way too much for Credit 101, but you needed to know those things. But anyway, what was I saying about credit? So, how you get credit? You looking for new credit. Don't panic. Don't be discouraged. Look at this pile right here. Hold on. I got a pile right here. I got a few of these saying, hey, Floyd, you apply for credit, but no. We're not doing that with you today. They denied me. A few of those said, hey, you don't have credit with us yet, but come on over. You pre-qualified. Come get this card. Pre-qualifications. Let's talk about it. So what is that? That is where you used to, back in the day, even now, you still get them in the mail. They say, hey, you're pre-qualified. We looked at your information, and we want to give you a card for this, that, and the other. First of all, those are not bad, but I want you to look at them closely and see what their annual fees are for those cards. Some of them are ridiculous. They got an annual fee and a monthly fee. We don't want them to get that crap out of here. We want a low annual fee if we rebuilding though. If we starting again, we want cards that offer us a low annual fee, because you're not just going to come out the gate from zero and get a good card with no annual fee. Pretty much not going to happen. Okay, so just look for that first. And when you're going out and you don't have any of those coming in the mail, you want to go online and you want to Google credit cards with pre-qualifications, or just type in pre-qualification or pre-qualify for credit, and a bunch of stuff is going to come up. I want you to look through all of those and see which ones have the best features that fit your lifestyle. You're probably not going to find a card that starts you off from the beginning, like rebuilding and all of that with points or whatever. Maybe, but pretty much not going to happen. So you're going to find cards that have like high interest rates. Remember, don't trip off that. You're going to pay it off before the due date in the following month. Don't worry about that. We're not paying them. And we're not going to run it all the way up to the end. We're going to pay it. We're not getting credit as an additional source of income. We're getting credit to help stretch out the time we have to pay for things. There's a difference. You're not going to act like you just got extra money and spend all of it. You're going to use that to stretch out the time you have to pay for something that you want or need. It's an aid. It's a tool. It is not extra income. All right, so we got that understood. Now what we need to do is figure out what kind of things we want to apply for. How do you do that? Well, starting out, you're not going to really know. It's kind of trial and error. That's why I told you to do pre-qualify in as many places as you can. Now, I want you to be strategic about how you're applying for these things, even in the pre-qual, because what do you need? What are you trying to achieve? Why do you want this credit card? Like, other than building credit or having more credit limits, what do you need in your life? Like, what do you use? Do you need a specific store card? Do you need a regular MasterCard or a Visa or a Discover type card? We're not even going to talk American Express, because that's for experienced level 3 type learners, not beginning, not intermediate. They up here, okay? You got to have a minimum score of like 680 to 700 or something to even qualify for one of them. And then that's a little temperamental. We're not going to reach there yet. Just stay right here. Pump the brake. We're going to ease up and apply for something simple like Capital One. Or who's another one? Oh God. I can't think of it right now, but there's a lot of different levels before you get to the American Express level, okay? Chase is up there with Amex. They like premium cards. Ease up. You try the Best Buy. That's a Citibank card. You could try at the Home Depot. That's another Citibank application. Stores like Sam's Club, Synchrony Bank, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods, all of them, Synchrony Bank. Value City Furniture, Synchrony Bank. LL Flooring, Synchrony Bank. I don't know them all, but I've tried a lot. So, who else you got? Office Depot was a Citibank. I think Macy's was a Citibank too. But yeah, leave Chase and American Express alone till you understand more about how things work. And then they got annual fees that's out of this world, like hundreds of dollars. But they give you premium points and travel rewards and all these different things. Just level 3, we're not there. We right here at level 1, okay? So calm down and just pre-qualification for credit. And then they have all these sites that help you, like Nerd Wallet. They'll tell you, which are the best cards, the easiest to get. And then they have these charts that say what kind of credit score you have to, qualify for one of these cards too. So it's a lot of information out there, but it's not overwhelming. Just do this. Look at your credit report. Look at your credit score. If your credit score is under 600, if you only got a couple of accounts or one account or no score at all, this is not what you want. If your credit score is under 600, just immediately pause the video and go get yourself a secured credit card, either from your bank or it could be somebody else's bank. You can join them later, but like TD Bank has a secured card, Bank of America has a secured card, Wells Fargo has one too, but you know what we say about them. Just do your research. Find out where you can start based on what you have in your credit profile. If you don't have a credit score, just go get a self-lender account or a kickoff account or a secured credit card account. Of course, secured means you have to put a deposit down in order to get the card, but at least you'll have something reporting on your account, and it's a starting place. Self-lender is like a pace yourself account where you don't really have credit, but it's almost like that Christmas club you used to have back in the day where you pay like $25 a month or something, and they report that you have good credit because you've been paying on time. It all helps, but research those things. Yeah, if you're a little bit more advanced than baseline and secure credit, and you got a couple of accounts under your belt, try the pre-qualifications in some places. And again, don't get discouraged. You see my stack of papers? I ain't playing. I got MasterCard something here, another home equity something here, pre-qualification, and then I got some Chase denials. Chase don't want to mess with me either. My score not high enough. I already know it because I did all that other stuff, and my inquiries and my account balances have my score just a little bit lower than 700. Okay, not a lot lower, but it ain't there. So all that together. Oh, and Chase has a rule: you can't apply for more than 5 accounts in 2 years, or they'll just deny you off the break. 5 accounts. You can only apply for 5 things in the last 2 years, or Chase gonna tell you no. So, but yeah, again, that's a premium card, American Express premium card. But there's a back door to an American Express card. It starts with Macy's. I learned that the other day. If you get a Macy's credit card, sometimes they'll offer you, based on your good profile and your good score, sometimes they'll offer you the American Express right away. Sometimes they won't. They'll say, hey, here's this little $300 and go to Macy's. But if you use that card and you pay that card consistently for a few months, they'll say, hey, would you like this American Express upgrade? And you can say yes. I don't know how many months. Don't start me lying. But after a while, good behavior, they will convert you to an American Express. Now, it's not the same as an American Express Platinum with the travel points and all this and that, but it gets you in the door. Because once you have that, did you know never mind, we going to intermediate. You can apply for a bunch of different kinds of American Express and a bunch of different kinds of Chase, and it'll be just fine. But we not there. So just know that you're going to get denied in some places. But if you do the pre-qualification first, it don't hurt as bad because it's not an inquiry that'll show up on your credit report. It'll just be a soft inquiry, which is like behind the scenes. They checked your stuff, but they didn't say they checked your stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you can get away with those. Anywhere you find a pre-qualification for something that you think you might want, just fill it out and see what they say. If they say yes, go ahead and accept that card and start building your credit. Okay? Did I have anything else about finance and credit today? Oh, God, there was something else. I forgot. Oh, well. That's enough. All right. Be well. Go get your stuff. I'm going to, real estate. I was supposed to tie it in. So, eventually, at some point in your life, you're probably going to want to buy a piece of real estate. And I have a bunch of articles and tips for buyers and sellers on my real estate page. MakeSignatureMoves.com/real estate hyphenated. I'm going to type it in the description for you. But yeah, I got some helpful hints for people who want to prepare for buying the house or prepare for selling the property. And usually when people sell, they want to buy something right behind it. Maybe get a condo and downsize. I don't know. But yeah, you want to start planning in advance. And I have tips for you. Otherwise, just go find other lifestyle stuff on my page. We got smell goods for your house. We got cooking tips. We got books to read. Lots of stuff on the website. Go shop around. Just look around. Look at the cakes. Look at all the things. Okay? Have a good night.